Alright, hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. If you are new here, my name is Amanda, but most people call me Scribbles because eclectic is hard to say. So I am known as Scribbles all over Twitch and YouTube and any other social media. If you're new here, settle in. We're going to do some painting today. If you have been around a while, welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you being here. Today we're going to paint some aurora skies, like the Aurora Borealis type things. So this is something that absolutely anybody can do, and I've been meaning to do a quick tutorial on how to do it. So I'm going to walk you through the steps really quickly. In order to get started, you just need some canvas. You need some canvas boards, canvas paper. You can use whatever you like, but what we're going to do is we're going to start on a black surface for this specific technique that I use. So if you don't have one that comes pre-made as a black canvas, then you can use black acrylic paint, like folk art paint or any kind of thing like that, or black gesso, and cover the surface of your white canvases. I really enjoy the Liquitex black gesso, but that is just my preference. Everything that I'm talking about today is going to be in an Amazon list that is easy to find. All the things that I recommend are be in our Amazon affiliate shop. So if you're looking for a specific item that I talk about today, that will be there in the description box below. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use this little 3x3 inch canvas today, and we'll go ahead and we'll start painting. The gesso doesn't take very long at all to dry, so this is something if you want to go ahead and you need to cover your paint, you can go ahead and do, and it will dry really quickly, and then you can get started with the Aurora with us. I'm just going to open this up, and then I will go through the products that we're going to be using for the painting itself. Okay, so here we go. Everything is open. We've got our black stretched canvas board. This is a 3 inch by 3 inch canvas, and now we are going to need some medium and some paint. So for the oil medium that I use, it is the Neo Meg oil painting medium by Gamblin. This is kind of hard to get right now, honestly, so you can use this. You can use liquid clear, or any other clear base that you can find. There are a bunch of other solvents, so everyone uses their own kind of thing. That is what I use. I call it goop, and that's what's going to go down on the base layer to make everything nice and blendable. For the colors, I'm going to go with a bunch of greens and maybe a little hint of pink in my sky. And so I'm going to go with several different colors. I'm going to go with some sap green, some phthalo turquoise, and some phthalo green, maybe some viridian, and possibly some quinacridone magenta or a quinacridone violet to add a little bit of pink. The important thing here is what you want is a transparent oil paint. It's really important that the oil is transparent. So just a general rule of thumb, the phthalos are typically transparent. Sap green is transparent. Alizarin crimson is transparent. I'm going to give you a lovely pink. The quinacridone colors are typically transparent. So just test it out, or if you have it listed on the back of your thing, like the Gamblin products here have the transparency listed on the back of the tube. Just make sure that your colors are transparent. If you don't have it listed on the back and you're not sure if it's transparent or not, take a black piece of paper. It can be a scrap paper or anything else, and you want to smear the color out, brush the color out onto the black canvas. If the color pops off of the black and hides the black, that's an opaque color. And if it still looks fairly black when you look at it, like you didn't put any color down, that's a transparent color. I will tell you that the cadmiums are always opaque. So if you have a cadmium anything, that is not going to work for this specific technique. Alright, so I'm just going to put the most minimal amount of paint that I can on my palette over here because we are really not going to use a lot. We are also going to need white for this, so I just have my titanium white. You're going to use just the tiniest little bit of this too. There is really not a lot of paint in this process at all, so don't fill your palette up with a bunch of paint. And then you can take this and put this on any size canvas that you want, but we're going to do a little small one for this. Okay, so the first step is to put your clear medium down on your canvas. Like I said, I'm using the Goop from Gamblin. I can't say MacLeod, so I just call it Goop. So I'm going to put my liquid clear Goop down, and what you want is to be able to see it on your canvas and make sure you have coated your entire canvas, but not where it's overly wet. You want it to glisten, but you don't want it to be too wet. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see. And I will tell you, if you are using canvas paper instead of a canvas board or an actual canvas, canvas paper tends to suck up the Goop a lot more. It's really thirsty, so sometimes you have to put a little bit more to keep the surface of the paper a little bit more damp. So just adjust accordingly depending on what you're using, but you want it to glisten. You don't want anything gooped up on it. You want a nice thin layer of that. So then you're just going to get a brush that is appropriate in size for what you're trying to do. I'm going to use this little one here. I don't even know, I don't even go by what they are. This one's a short Filbert 8 oil brush, but you can use whatever brush you have on hand. Just make sure that if you're using paint brushes and you have some that you're using for oil paint, don't switch back and forth between oil and watercolor and acrylic and things like that. If you have brushes that you want to use for oil, dedicate those for oil and oil only. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to grab a little bit of sap green. And you're going to see what I'm talking about with the color here. And I'm going to rub some sap green on my canvas in some places. And you're not going to see any of it. So there is how you tell that it's transparent. To you, it probably looks like I have barely touched this paper or this canvas and there's nothing there on the thing. But I promise you there is. The magic is going to happen later. So here we have the sap green. You can go back in with the same brush if you'd like to, and I'm going to pick up some phthalo turquoise, I believe, and then I'm going to, if you look at it at an angle, you can tell which pieces of the canvas you have already gone over, and so it's a little bit easier to see from the side. And I'm going to start filling in all of the black on this canvas with the colors that I told you. So that was phthalo turquoise, and I'm just dabbing some on the canvas. We're going to go back and we're going to do some phthalo green, and I'm just going to hit some spots that I have not hit yet with paint. You don't want to goop it up on the surface either. You want to make sure that you've got a nice thin layer of all of this. But again, you can't tell what's happening here. I promise you, I am putting paint down onto the canvas. There's definitely paint on my brush. Alright, and then what I'm going to do for an extra pop of color is I'm going to switch brushes for just a second, since this one is coated in greens. And I'm going to grab just a little quinacridone violet. That is my favorite. And I'm going to put a few little pops of color on the canvas in the quinacridone violet. Again, it doesn't look like I'm doing much, if anything at all, on the canvas, but you will see it very shortly. The magic is about to happen. Now you can put this sky over just about anything. You can put it over mountains, you can put it over a nice winter scene, you can put it in any sky that you like. We just happen to be doing the sky today, and I'm just showing you the technique to do the aurora sky. Alright, I'm going to put my paintbrush down. And next we're going to move into the white. So I'm just going to grab a little liner brush. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So this is just a little round brush that I can get a nice clean line with. So we're going to be using this, and we're going to put this in our white paint, the titanium white. We're just going to get a little bit on our brush, and we are going to swirl along our canvas. So once again, we're just going to put some nice swirls where we think that they will be in our sky. And you can twirl these in any way you want. You can make them loop around if you like. I'm just trying to have mine sort of bounce up and down across the canvas itself. We'll get a little bit more bouncy with this one. Alright, so we've got 4 little lines going across our canvas, and if you need to, make sure that you wipe the green or any other color that it's picking up off of your brush in between going into your white so you don't contaminate your white too much. And if anything feels a little too dull, then you can go back over it. I'm going to go right in here and make a 5th line very, very lightly because I just like odd numbers, so I'm a weirdo. Alright, so we've got the lines put down now. And next up, we're going to take a 1-inch brush or whatever brush would suit your needs. You just want a big flat brush, just a regular paint brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the edge of it and we're going to swoop. I'm going to paint all over my hands. We're going to swoop up the canvas just like this. You will want a paper towel for this because you want to make sure that you don't drag a whole lot of color into the next swipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on one end, we're going to swipe up, and we're going to wipe our brush off. So here we go. Take the edge of our brush, we're going to swipe up, and then wipe the paint off of our brush. We're going to go again, swipe up, wipe the paint off, swipe up, wipe the paint off. And this is what's going to give you that look of the auroras. And then any spots that you feel need a little bit of extra love or attention, you can go up through multiple times. So that's what I'm going to do here. And you've got an aurora sky right before your eyes. These look a little better if you go over them a few times, just to give them that nice wispy sort of airy ethereal look. And if you don't like what you see, or if you see a section that's kind of faded out and you didn't quite get the result that you want, just jump back in here with your white, go over your line a little bit more. Say we might want a little bit more right in here. Okay, and we'll hit that little spot right there, and then do it again. Just make sure that you're wiping your brush so that you're not contaminating all of the things, and that'll pick up those extra spaces. There you go. So that is how you make an aurora. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple of examples of a finished piece with an aurora sky in it so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we have a couple of mountain scenes and a palette knife forest that I have aurora skies over top to give you a couple of ideas. This one I did yesterday on stream. This is the green aurora that we're doing here. So I put that over top of some mountains. You can do it in different colors. So this one has more blues and purples in it. This is a lot of phthalo blue and quinacridone violet in this one. And this is the same. This has got some phthalo turquoise in it. It's got the quinacridone violet and some phthalo blue in it as well. And so you can make these as wispy and as soft as you like, or you can make them a little bit bolder and brighter in color. The more white you add, the brighter the color will be, but you can wash out the color if you put too much white in. So just experiment and be careful with the amount of white that you use. But other than that, you can put these skies over absolutely anything. And that's going to round out the tutorial for this. I will do a tutorial if you like for mountains, and we've got some other tutorials coming up in oil painting and left-handed crochet and all kinds of stuff. So do make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are informed each and every time I upload new content. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much again. Tell me which one is your favorite. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which Aurora is your favorite? Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all. Now I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to each and every one of my patrons. Without you, I would not be able to do this for a living. So thank you so much for your support. If you would like exclusive coloring pages, prints, creature cards, and all kinds of fun line work, then check out the Patreon link in the description box below.